everyone, welcome to video 3 in the Chatbot series. This video is all about entities and parameters. So for a quick agenda of this video, we're going to go through just firstly creating the next intent in our series so that we have that done. And then we're going to go straight into entities. We're going to go over quickly what an entity is, and then go through a whole walkthrough of creating an entity in our next intent. Lastly, we're just going to debrief and prepare for our next video. Okay, so starting off, let's just create the next intent in our chatbot to continue our chatbot. So this one's going to be called asking name 002, or whichever naming convention works for you. In the training phrases, in the last intent, the response was, what is your last name? So in this training phrases, we're just going to put different last names, and I'm going to put my own, and you can put your own so that it'll work with your name. But it's also helpful to just put some common names here. Okay, and this intent actually doesn't have any parameters. We haven't gotten there yet, so I'm just going to remove it from all of these. And then down to the response. The response for this intent, if you saw from the transcript, is, what is your first name? Save that. So now we've included the next intent. Okay, let's get into the topic of this video, which is parameters and entities. So in order to add a parameter, which is, like I've said before, kind of like adding a variable. So it's adding a phrase that the chatbot is going to remember and that can later use in its responses. So in our example, the chatbot is able to remember the user's name when it's given and then use it in later responses. So first, what we're going to do is go to entities right here and create an entity. I'm going to call this entity first name. So usually give it a name that just helps me remember what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and add in some of the first names that it's going to get. And synonyms are other things that it could say that might be this, that might mean the same thing. Other things the user might say that might mean what we're trying to capture. But for names, it's really just the same. Okay, so now that I've added those in, I'm just going to save. All right, and now we're going to go create our next intent. So I'm going to create a new intent, which is going to be asking name 003. And since the last response was, what is your first name? These training phrases are going to be first names. So the user will respond with their first name. So I'll put mine in there. So these are all the names we've already put in, and it's recognizing it immediately as the first name entity. And here, this is the parameter that it is. So the parameter automatically gets added into our intent once we put in these phrases that are under an entity. So it's already recognizing that we're going to be using this parameter in our chatbot. We're going to be capturing the first name that the user gives. So once we add in a bunch of different names here, I'd encourage you to add a lot here. Then we're going to go to responses, and in order to have the chatbot use our first name in the response, this is what we're going to do. So the response is hi, their name, and then are you a teacher, if you guys saw the transcript for this. So I'm going to say hi, and then in order to use this parameter, we're going to use a $sign, and then the parameters show up. So there it is, first name, period, are you a teacher? And there we go. I'm just going to save this. All right, so now that we've added in, let's just give it a shot and see if it works. We can use the try it now right here. So I'm just going to start from the beginning of the chatbot. So starting with saying that we want to do lesson 1, as the user would say. So there we go. It asks, what is your last name? And then it's asking, what is your first name? there you go. It's responded back with my name. It said, "Hi, Renee, are you a teacher?" So then we know we've accomplished using the entity correctly.